Hello, everybody, and today what we're going to be doing is tier listing every single Shane McMahon insane bump that he's ever done. Now, the way I found all these bumps, as you can see here on the bottom of your screen, are from a official WWE posted YouTube video that lists Shane McMahon's craziest moments. It's officially titled as Shane McMahon's Wildest Moments, a WWE playlist. I'll link it in the description below if you want to watch. And I followed all of the clips in there and put them into this tier list, save a few because they weren't as interesting. Otherwise, I added one extra one that came out after this came out. So 2020 was when the video was posted, but another cool one came out with Braun Strowman in 2021. So I added that onto the tier list as well. But we'll get to that in due time. Let's get started with Shane McMahon versus Kurt Angle. The shattering through the glass. Now, this is a very iconic Shane McMahon obscene bump. He literally is getting put through a pane of real glass and bleeding everywhere. That's not a great feeling if you couldn't tell. So if you watch the clip, Kurt is trying to suplex Shane into this glass. He tries it once. Shane just bounces off, hits the ground. Kurt does it again. Then Shane goes through it, is bleeding everywhere. Then Shane does it again through a different set of glass, which takes 2 times to break as well. And it's really brutal. He's beaten to hell. And honestly, props to Shane for even doing this, because this is insanity. I'm putting this in Shane's insane. The fact that he went through with being like, oh yeah, this is real glass. Yeah, do it to me twice. I'm fine with that. Is kind of wild, because you have to know that Kurt, once that first time didn't work, he must have gone to Shane and be like, yo, I don't think it's the worked glass. Do you want to do it? And Shane was like, hell yeah. That seems like something Shane would do, and I'm impressed that he did. So good job, Shane. Shane is insane. Then we move on to Bobby Lashley versus Vince McMahon, with Shane McMahon interfering at WrestleMania 23. This was actually Bobby versus Umaga in the Vince versus Trump hair versus hair match. There's like 80,000 people who are involved, so that's why I keep getting the match confused with other ones. But nonetheless, this is a pretty basic coast to coast. It does look pretty good, so I'm going to be putting this in balls to the wall. It's not terrible. It's not incredible. It's not the best thing he's done ever, but it's still an entertaining thing to see. Like, oh, whoa, what a big hit by Shane onto Bobby Lashley. Woo! Then we move on to Shane jumping off the top count anywhere. Sorry, a last man standing match. And what happens is he misses and just can't get up. Like, he goes right through the floor, can't stand up. It looks great as a moment. The sound it makes when he lands is so I'm going to be putting this in absurd. I don't think it's his best moment ever or one of his best, but it's still really cool to watch. Then we have one of the few GIFs I put on here, which is Shane McMahon's diving elbow drop onto the table, trying to hit his father, who moves out of the way. This moves right into the balls to the wall section. It's nothing incredible. He does it quite a bit. So this is just going to be placed here very neatly, very nicely. Nothing too special. Then we move on. Oh boy, what is this? So I must have gotten them confused. This one is actually the Kane one. The previous one was against Big Show, but they're basically the exact same bump. So I'll be putting them both in the absurd category, because they're going off basically the exact same height from either the Titantron or these big old rafters. And it looks great when he does land, and it ends up really leading to the finish, I guess. I don't think this one's as good because it's kind of a flat finish, because right after he lands, you have to wait for the referee to go like, 1, 2, and it's really boring because I watched the whole thing and he's just standing there. And Kane's right next to him, very slowly getting up, and it's really awkward, but nonetheless, it's a cool moment. Then we have AJ Styles getting hit by an elbow drop from the top rope. This goes incredible. It's nothing too special. It's the same concept as the WrestleMania 17 one. The only thing this one's done as well, and it's just a move that Shane does often. Now, we may as well go through those basic ones. We have Shane versus Shawn. Same thing, goes in disappointing now because I've seen it so many times. Then we have, let's see, where's another really boring one? This one, another coast to coast. This one to his father. This one pops right into the credible tier. And the rest of them are interesting ones that we will get to into a bit more developed. This one is him jumping off of an ambulance in 2003. So basically, if you take an ambulance, Shane bounds up onto the roof when he's able to do the move. Then it's Braun Strowman versus Shane. This is the one I was mentioning earlier that I included because I had to. Technically, the glass one with Kurt wasn't in there as well, so I did add that. I don't know why it wasn't, maybe because of blood issues. But nonetheless, this is Braun just throwing Shane off the top of the cell. Well, it's not a Hell in a Cell, it's a cage. But still, it takes a pretty big bump from this. I'm going to be putting this in absurd. I think it's along the same level as the other ones. It's just from a slightly lower height, and it's higher than the ones in the balls to the wall category. So you just balance them out, throw them in absurd to be nice to him. Then we move on to Shane McMahon versus Steve Blackman. This is when he gets his head bonked off the side of the Titantron scaffolding again and just flies off backwards. This was my original picture that I hear used on YouTube. I did change it to an actual logo. But yeah, this was the picture I used to use for a while, so I have a bit of a personal connection to this one. As such, it's going in Shane's Insane for me. Looks really cool. He can't see where he's landing, which is, I think, the best part about it, because if somebody is falling, we're going to use AJ here. If someone's falling forward, at least they know like what they're about to land on, so they can maybe brace themselves or turn to land on something that might be safer for them. But if you're falling like a Darby Allin coffin drop like this, you have no chance of knowing what's behind you unless you're able to turn around midair. And Shane doesn't. He just falls backwards. And that's really impressive, and props to him for that. He does a bunch of insane stuff. We're going through it right now, and this is one of the best ones that he's done. Then we move on to him jumping off Hell in the Cell. Everybody knows this one. I don't think it's as good as a lot of people say it is. I do think it is still in the Shane's Insane category easily, but I don't think it is that, whoa, that's so cool moment. Because, yeah, he does. I just don't think it makes it look as good. I could see this being hovering into the absurd category, but it's staying in Shane's Insane because, again, it's like a 30-foot fall. So props to him for doing that. Then the last one here. Wait a second. Is Shane McMahon tearing his quads? That's on here? Well, I guess Shane McMahon tearing his quads. It was really funny. So Shane's Insane. Yeah, he came in. He was like, haha, I'm going to beat you up, Miz. He did a, whatever that thing is where you jump over your opponent like this. Wow. And then he landed and he tore both his quads and he collapsed. And then Miz had no idea what to do. And the referees came in and helped him out. That is a really insane thing. All right, everybody. What do you think? Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? Let me know down in them comments down below. Make sure you have a good day, good evening, good night, good morning, good dawn, good dusk, go whatever. Make sure to watch any former or future episodes of this channel. And goodbye.